AT&T acquires CenturyLink. Vast data reveals an AI operating system. Salesforce buys Informatica for $8 billion to get more AI. Red Hat is pushing Linux for smart vehicles, and Google has a new approach to AI infrastructure. Datadog has visions of observability platforms. And why is OpenAI acquiring Jony Ive's IO for $6.4 billion? Get all of the news on the Tech Field Day Rundown. Welcome to the Tech Field Day Rundown, where each time we meet, we run down the IT news of the week with a varying degree of sarcasm. I'm your host, Alistair Cook, and joining me is my co-host, Corey Rugney. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Alistair.
It's a joy to have you here with us on National Hamburger Day, and I hope everybody is going to have a nice feed of hamburgers today. It's also National Flip Flop Day, or as we would call it here in New Zealand, National Jandal Day. But it's funny that World Hunger Day is also National Brisket Day. We have the complete set of interesting flavors to find.
Yeah, I guess if you don't like brisket or hamburgers, it is definitely World Hunger Day for you, while everyone else is downing brisket and hamburgers. Um,
Mhm.
all jokes aside, I think my favorite one is the National Flip Flop Day. I think that's a good excuse to go shopping after this.
Yeah, it's a bit rainy outside at the moment here in New Zealand, so it may not be the best of Jandal days for me. AT&T has agreed to acquire Lumen Technologies' consumer fiber broadband business, CenturyLink, for $5.75 billion in cash. The deal includes 1.1 million fiber customers across 11 states and access to over 4 million fiber-enabled locations, significantly expanding AT&T's fiber footprint in major metro areas like Denver, Seattle, and Orlando. This acquisition is part of AT&T's strategy to double its fiber network to reach approximately 60 million locations by 2030. Corey, do you think they're going to make it?
Yeah, I think they're going to make it. I think this is, a clear acceleration of that strategy of AT&T's to double their fiber network. They can do it one of two ways. They can build it or they can buy it. In this case, maybe they'll do a little bit of both. But right now, buying it, AT&T historically has been a titan. It even has had a few side quests with media and Warner Media, which they've now divested in. But this seems like a very significant resharpening of focus to become the number one broadband provider in America. So, gaining over 1.1 million customers and 4 million locations is definitely going to bolster their progress to expanding high speed fiber across the nation. Um, like I said, build it or buy it. In this case, they're buying a good portion of it. So for enterprises, what does this mean? More ubiquitous fiber options into key metro areas, like you mentioned, Denver and Orlando. Simplifying support for those distributed workforces and solid last mile infrastructure. On the other side, Lumen, many of us still know them as CenturyLink or Quest, and even Level 3 before that. Seems that they are making a very deliberate strategic pivot here. They've got a very deep history in the enterprise and wholesale networking, particularly with its vast fiber backbone and services geared towards large businesses and government. So by shedding that capital intensive consumer fiber business, I think Lumen's going to be able to materially reduce debt and free up some capital to accelerate investments into high growth enterprise solutions. Their CEO explicitly stated that they're sharpening their focus on the enterprise, especially for multi cloud and everybody's favorite buzzword, AI first world. So I think that means we can expect Luma to double down offerings like private connectivity to Fabric, cloud on ramp, stuff like that. So to me, we're seeing a clear delineation. AT&T solidifying its position as a broadband provider and aiming for sheer scale and widespread connectivity across the nation, and Lumen refining itself into a more specialized, agile enterprise network powerhouse, specifically for this next wave of AI infrastructure. So goodbye by AT&T, and if they want to throw some money my way, you send them on over to me next. Vast Data has introduced its AI operating system designed to unify and simplify global scale AI infrastructure by transitioning from traditional application based systems to agent driven architectures. The platform encompasses a kernel for cloud services, a runtime for deploying AI agents, real time event processing, messaging infrastructure, and distributed storage for analytics. Additionally, Vast unveiled Agent Engine, a low code environment for building intelligent workflows, which includes a pre built open source agents tailored for various tasks such as data engineering, compliance, and life sciences research.
Seems an interesting move to lash a big pile of AI on top of your storage. But really, what is this progression? So, vast data we saw starting out with this uh, huge scale out all flash array where they said there's no need to have any tiers, just put everything in here and the array will look after all. And then they expanded outwards to being universal storage, so all kinds of data, not just block storage that's being presented out through file storage objects, and then moving onwards to being a data platform for AI. That was a couple of years ago. They decided that AI was going to be good for them and that all of your AI data types could land on your vast storage platform. Now, your AI applications themselves can land on the same operating system that's distributed agentic computing and AI analytics platform or operating system that they're offering. It's interesting that it's a company that we think of as entirely as a storage vendor who is now talking about an operating system for AI and delivering these AI applications easily with low code, no code kind of deployment. And there's some real perspectives around the move to agentic AI, a shift away from work being done by humans who are using tens to hundreds of applications in an enterprise to having potentially millions of little tiny agents doing a large amount of the work, offloading the routine, predictable, repeatable things that we really would like AI to be doing. And that's what the agent engine is all about. It's the ability to build very simply these agents that will take some task and autonomously complete that task, going beyond simple automation of I push a button and it does a thing, actually having this event driven structure where something occurs in the world. Maybe an order comes in, maybe a memo arrives from my boss, and an agent then handles that. Maybe the agent reads the memo from my manager or his manager and identifies whether it should send me a text to tell me I should really read this right now, get up off my chair next to the barbecue, or whether I can wait until tomorrow. Maybe that's what the agent's doing. This shift towards lots and lots of very small agents doing a lot of work for us is definitely one of the things we're seeing in the AI industry, and Vast is well placed to have all of the inputs and outputs actually residing on their platform, and then much more use of these agents as this platform, as this operating system for AI agents is built out. I think the agent engine is going to be interesting to see what it actually ends up being, what more infrastructure beyond your vast array you need in order to use this, particularly as it scales, because your storage array, your vast array is using quite a lot of CPU power to do all of the smart things with storage. We're probably going to need some more CPU power to run vast numbers of agents. So it'll be interesting to see as this moves onwards, as we see more personal assistants and more pre-built AIs, possibly even where we're using vibe coding to create new AI agents. So having an AI write our AI agent for us. Uh, yeah, certainly a vast future with agents. Salesforce is reportedly close to an $8 billion deal to acquire the data management firm Informatica, according to the Wall Street Journal report. The potential acquisition could mark a significant investment by Salesforce into strengthening its data capabilities, particularly as it continues to integrate and expand its AI offerings. Buying Informatica is the biggest deal since its nearly $28 billion acquisition of Slack Technologies in 2021, and would help Salesforce expand its data management tools as it doubles down on AI powered products. The deal would also allow Salesforce to tighten the control over how business data is managed and used, an essential step as it races to embed generative AI deeper into its products. And this seems to be a general trend. I think Salesforce has done a couple of AI acquisitions recently, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't buying into AI right now? Surely Salesforce is putting their money where the trends are and where the business is. So for me, I think this is a really smart play by Salesforce, especially when we focus on the data management piece. For years, we've preached garbage in, garbage out when it comes to enterprise data management. But with generative AI and larger models, that principle is now staring us straight in the face and simply cannot be ignored. It can't be just a saying anymore. If an organization has poor data management practices, they're going to have a very steep uphill climb to leverage and innovative AI tools. Well, at least leverage them well. They may work, but they may not be giving you great answers. So you can have the most advanced AI, but if it's fed inconsistent, incomplete, or dirty data, its intelligence is just an illusion, and it's going to lead to flawed insights, bad decisions, and poor user confidence, and in turn, poor adoption. So, Informatica has been a long-standing leader in data management, cleansing, integrating, and governing data across complex enterprise landscapes. So, for Salesforce, especially while they're aggressively pushing the Einstein AI and data cloud, this isn't just about more data. It's about injecting trust into their customer data fabric. So their CRM may be a hub, but customer data lives everywhere. So unifying and purifying that data is going to be paramount to having quality AI solutions and having user confidence in those answers and offerings that their AI solutions put out. So this is a massive investment that signals that Salesforce profoundly understands the critical need for robust data foundations. It's a strategic move to ensure their AI delivers genuine, actionable intelligence and not just automated misinformation. This deal sets a new benchmark to succeed with AI. You must first conquer your data quality, and anything else is just very expensive garbage out. Red Hat believes Linux will play a key role in powering the next generation of software defined vehicles. By offering open source platforms, Red Hat aims to help automakers build more flexible, updatable, and secure in car systems. The company is working with industry partners to create standardized cloud connection vehicle architecture. Alistair, what do you think?
I think this is a sign of maturity. One of the things that we see as new technologies get deployed out, they get deployed as a point solution and are very specialized. And then over time, some things get standardized underneath. The gating factor in here is a thing called the safety element out of context framework, which is part of the automotive safety integrity level B standard. This is the certification that says you can put this system inside the car. Now, historically, a car maker, a supplier to the car maker would make a custom solution for a specific use, for a specific application, and get that certified within the framework. What Red Hat's done now is released a new distribution of Linux called the Red Hat In-Vehicle Operating System. And this is certified to the SEOOC or SEU framework. This allows the systems builders who are putting together a solution to go inside a vehicle to just trust that this lower layer is certified and only have to build the certification up above that. I think it's an awesome thing to enable much simpler creation of new and updated versions of application platforms that run these smart cars. Both electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles, both manually operated and autonomous electric vehicles require a whole lot of instrumentation. And we know that increasingly the systems inside our cars are becoming more complex and more interrelated. And related to this is the vulnerabilities that we've seen in remote management, remote control of vehicles, and providing a high level of security at the lowest level of the operating system is going to be a great assistance to building more security further up. We've seen remote start, remote stop of unowned vehicles over the internet through the remote management interfaces. Uh, Getting better security around this is going to be a good thing, and having more of a platform that includes that security, includes that certainty, early on is going to be very beneficial to the car makers and the suppliers to those car makers like LG Electronics and Texas Instruments and Autoware. There's a whole collection of people who will benefit from having a good, solid foundation to build upon. Google Cloud is focusing more on building better AI technology by combining special hardware, fast networks, and smart storage into one powerful system. This AI hypercomputer is designed to make developing and running AI easier and faster. It uses important parts from Google's TPUs, NVIDIA GPUs, and the unified storage system to help manage data more simply. We saw this technology at AI Infrastructure Field Day 2, and Google is also growing its data centers and plans to spend $75 billion by 2025 to support the rising need for AI and cloud services. Once again, lots of money being spent on AI, Corey. Are they going to get a return on this? What is this stuff?
Yeah. I like the tagline, Infrastructure gets googlier," or should we say storage, but sexier? To me, this is bringing, like you said, bringing the network, the GPUs, the CPUs, TPUs, how many U's? Storage and everything all together to build a purpose-built solution. So automating and adding intelligence to those storage solutions. This seems like a major strategic move and a good one amidst the AI arms race between major cloud providers. I won't name them, but you know who they are. They're all trying to differentiate themselves right now. So, from my standpoint, this isn't just about offering more compute with the $75 billion investment. It's a testament to Google's commitment to deeply integrated, purpose built systems designed to tackle the complexities of modern AI. Because, everybody wants to do AI, but actually figuring out what does that mean for your enterprise or your business is a completely different ballgame. So, the core of the hypercomputer sounds like is simplicity rather than providing piecemeal services, even if they're all provided under the Google umbrella, providing them with one name, uh, combining the hardware, the TPUs, NVIDIA GPUs, high speed networks, unified storage, combining that all for the sake of simplicity. The unified storage system in particular is I believe it'll help eliminate data bottlenecks, simplify data management for these petabyte scale data sets, and ensure that those extensive GPUs and TPUs aren't just sitting idle waiting for data. We know how hard it is to get our hands on those NVIDIA GPUs these days. So once you have them, you want to be able to actually start running your workloads and doing what they were intended for, not just sitting collecting dust. So I think this is directly going to address one of the biggest pain points for those ML ops and large scale AI trainings, and that is the simplification and how do I get started. On top of that, Google's commitment of 75 billion in 2025 to expand its data centers, I'll say it's important, but honestly, it's just a requirement to be a leader in this space. Uh, AI takes physical infrastructure. Even if you're paying a cloud provider, they have to have the physical infrastructure to support it. So that seems like a no brainer, a good move by Google, but just something they've got to do. Um, for AI developers and researchers, I think this is going to promise a more streamlined experience, abstracting away some of that underlying infrastructure complexity is going to mean faster model training, more rapid experimentation, more efficient inferencing at scale, more science, more cool stuff, faster, simpler, easier, googlier, we'll say. So in essence, sounds like Google's aiming to provide a turnkey supercomputing environment for AI, which is going to allow practitioners to focus on what matters. So a good move by Google in my book. Datadog is expanding its observability platform to cover more areas of modern IT environments, including user experience, security, and cost optimization. The company aims to give organizations a more unified view across infrastructure, applications, and business metrics. This broader approach is designed to help teams detect issues faster, improve performance, and reduce operational complexity.
And I think there's some really interesting pieces in what's in here. In particular, I like the Toto AI model that Datadog is brought in here. Uh, this model is trained on time series data, which is quite different from being trained on the general corpus of the great internet download. And so having this specialized AI that can very rapidly identify anomalies and capacity issues from that time series data that Datadog's been collecting. Is this more than just three linear regressions in a trench coat, as Justin Warren's inclined to say? Quite probably there seems to be a little more complexity to this, a little more awareness of longer term trends rather than just being stuck on the shorter term trends. Michael Wetton, who is the vice president of Datadog product at Datadog, says that in general they're widely used monitoring platforms, and they're moving to expand the reach and scope of the things that they're building out. This includes having some more experimental products, the product analysis suite that they acquired a little while ago, and building out tools to support the data management and data science teams. Definitely some tools around looking at automated analysis of your data and getting good data quality to feed in. Of course, Corey's hit on the essential element of data quality being vital for getting your business data into your AI application and getting good outcomes from this. It's not the first acquisition. There's definitely a bunch of acquisitions along the way for Datadog. Others like Metaplane added in, adding more AI models into the offering, um, and getting more complexity or getting some handling of the greater complexity that we're seeing in applications as they're being built with AI tools, AI applications using those sets of data, having very different demands on workload, on resources, on networking, quite different from the applications that we've previously run in enterprises. Particularly as we start to see that move towards agentic AI, where it's an agent talking to another agent nearly as often as it's a piece of data or a user talking to the agent. Having observability across these increasingly complex environments is absolutely vital, and that's where Datadog has been focusing, is getting the best telemetry data out of your applications, out of your AI, out of your infrastructure, and getting a holistic view of what's going on, making sure that you are getting the best value for the resources you're using and that your users are getting the best experience of accessing your application. Now it's time for a little bit of a closer look, and OpenAI has announced its largest acquisition to date, agreeing to acquire IO, an AI device startup founded by former Apple executive Jony Ive, well known as the chief designer at Apple. It's an all equity deal worth approximately $6.5 billion. And Sam and Johnny gotten together and talked about how wonderful everything is working together. As part of the merger, Jony Ive will assume a significant creative and design responsibilities across both OpenAI and IO. Despite this merger, Ive's design firm LoveFrom will continue to operate independently. And that leaves me wondering, hang on, we haven't got the design bit, and OpenAI had a lot of AI. What did they just spend $6.5 billion on, Corey?
Your guess is as good as mine, Alistair. Johnny Ives is the brain behind some of the most iconic products like iPhones, iPads, and MacBook Airs from Apple. So, IO is a physical AI company. What does that mean? Alistair, I don't think I have the answer for you. But Altman said that their mission would be to figure out how to create a family of devices that would let people use AI to create all sorts of wonderful things, which sounds wonderful to me. Are we maybe going back to like a handheld for AI? Why wouldn't this just sit on our phones? What do you think, Alistair?
Well, it does make me wonder whether Johnny Ive left Apple because of the disarray that's been going on with AI at Apple. Apple seems not to be able to deliver the sort of AI services that customers are expecting. The reports I've heard of Apple Intelligence is that it's been under delivering, and maybe Jony Ive saw this coming and actually made a move to leave in order to have better options, because of course he couldn't go straight from Apple to somewhere like OpenAI. So maybe there was some vision from Jony Ive to get out, and that he had ambitions to build much better AIs than he felt that Apple were going to. Maybe this is why now he and Sam Altman have gotten very, very chummy together. Maybe this is actually the biggest aqua hire that we've ever seen, of bringing Johnny in to work with Sam. My suspicion is that it's not so much of a hire as a partnership that's going on here. And it's very much the way the post from Sam and Johnny on the OpenAI page talks about it, is this partnership to build solutions together. And so this seems to just be the way they could make sweet technology together. Corey, do you think that hardware, as you say, this may end up being hardware devices in our hands, because that's what we know Johnny Ive for?
I don't know. I mean, when I think of Johnny Ive's legacy, I think of these handheld devices, but who knows? We know it's a hardware focus. I don't know where these devices are going to live. I'll just a quick anecdote that if you haven't looked at the OpenAI page and this photo of Sam and Johnny, you have to look. I mean, I think a true partnership it's going to be. They look like they could be brothers in the photo. I think they're both very excited for this. That was just pretty heartwarming to see a heartfelt photo of the 2 together on OpenAI's page. But speaking of hires, this is not the only hire that OpenAI has made. So I think OpenAI is getting serious about this AI hardware because they also hired the former head of Meta's Orion augmented reality glasses in November to lead robotics and consumer hardware efforts. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but OpenAI is they're up to something here, and I can't wait. I mean, I think about when we had the first iPod, we wouldn't be able to conceptualize that, and are we on the brink of another event like the unveiling of the iPod? Who knows?
And I think that's what the hope is, and I really do hope we get to see something truly innovative and industry changing come out of this partnership, because it's a lot of money to be putting out on the table to bring a partner into your organization. Well, as we are looking at our wonderful week, this episode is coming to you on Wednesday, the 28th of May, which is also the first day of Security Field Day. Tom Hollingsworth, my erstwhile partner in this particular piece of snark, Tom is out in California and has 2 great days with a whole collection of people, both delegates and presenting companies, for Security Field Day. Of course, next week is my turn. Cloud Field Day returns to the San Francisco area. We'll be live streaming as usual on LinkedIn and TechStrong on June the 4th and 5th. And again, I have some awesome people there. There's going to be quite a lot of focus on storage, as it turns out, and object storage and massive scale object storage. Then the following week, it's Tom again. Tech Field Day Extra at Cisco Live US the week, June 10th and 11th. And then Tom is also on. He gets a little bit of a break because it'll be July 9th and 10th for Networking Field Day 38. Thanks for watching the Tech Field Day Rundown. You can catch new episodes every Wednesday as a YouTube video or on your favorite podcast application. The Rundown is also streamed on TechStrong TV as well. You can often catch us on other TechStrong and Futurum Group programs. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk about all the IT news of the week that was, and until then, for myself, for Corey Runge, and for all of us here at Tech Field Day, here's wishing you and yours a great day.